So here we'll be talking about how to do quantitative strategic planning matrix. It's a very simple thing. We have the set criterias. Only you have to input data in the light green fields in this worksheet. So number of criterias, we have 6 criterias as identified as threats to the College of Business Administration or such. In fact, the committee consists of 10 participants, so I made it 1 to 10, but only 7 are actively participating in this task, so I write 7 here. Select participant, I can get 0 as a consolidated view, or I can choose any one of this participant. Like say, suppose I want to know what is the Abdul Malik's opinion on this. So you get the Abdul Malik's opinion on the 6 criterias as per the weights he has assigned, and based on the weights he has assigned, the rankings are coming on this. Same way, let's say I want to know what's the feedback of Dr. Imdad, so I can get the feedback of Dr. Imdad because his participant he has input his in this input file 4. Okay, so we get directly all this, but since we are interested in having a consensus view on this as a consolidated aspect of the priority of the threads to the CBAK, so we take 0 here. So once we do this, we get now we get to sit with the multiple inputs, and these multiple inputs are coming this way. Again, we have the consolidated view and we have the individual views of different participants. Once we have the threads, we can work on the TWAS matrix, and whatever threads have been identified, you have to label those threads under the threads column, and each row will act as an individual strategy wherein we can develop 2 strategies by combining threats with the strengths and weaknesses of CBAK. So this threat, how can be eradicated or overcome using our strengths in CBAK which we have listed, and then you come out with a strategy to work it out in order to do away or to protect yourself from this threat. Similarly, how can you use these threats also to manage your weaknesses by consolidating the position in terms of overcoming the weaknesses as well as eradicating the threats which are there in the environment, and so on and so forth. And similar exercise we do for opportunities, we do for strengths, we do for weaknesses. We get the priorities of opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, like the threats, and then come out with 4 different strategies. This strategy we call it as strength opportunities strategy, weaknesses opportunities strategy, strengths threats strategy, weaknesses threat strategies. And based on this, we can work out the what we call it as, for each of this we can work out what is the given strategic alternative on a scale of an attractiveness score of 1 to 4, where we say 4 is the response is superior, 1 is the response is below average. And when we feed this here, we like say I give a rating of difficulty of attracting distinguished faculty members in certain academic disciplines is a major threat, so I can just put it as 4, and automatically I get the total attractiveness score based on the weight assigned to the criteria by all the strategic planning committee members, and thus we can weight the strategic alternatives which we have identified to do with this particular criteria. And the framework which we are following, you can see it here. We are working in 3 stages: stage 1 the input stage, stage 2 the matching stage, stage 3 the decision stage. In stage 1, we are doing the external factor evaluation to identify the threats and opportunities inherent in the environment, external environment. We use the internal factor evaluation matrix to work out our strengths and weaknesses which we have in our internal environment. This has been done through an exercise of each department coming out with uh, different kinds of strengths and weaknesses. They have identified at the department level the strengths and weaknesses. With these strengths and weaknesses which have been identified by each of the academic departments in our College of Business Administration, Al-Kharj, we did a survey to all the stakeholders, and based on the surveys of this external factor and internal factor, we are able to produce a SWOT matrix. And this SWOT matrix we have used based on AHP logic, wherein we used analytical hierarchy process to to what I say prioritize the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and then we use at the third stage, the decision stage, that is a quantitative strategic planning matrix developed by Professor David. He is a well-known personality and he has written a world famous book on strategic management, which is being followed throughout the globe by different universities for the postgraduate programs. So that's it about our framework. And once we do all these three stages, and that's it, we get the strategic plan, the best strategic plan for our College of Business Administration.